I mentioned last night the amazing collapse of Russian forces in eastern Ukraine. A Ukrainian counter-offensive, a kind of blitzkrieg really, if I can use that term, has sent Russian forces fleeing in such a blind panic that they've driven their tanks and their trucks into rivers and even into a tree. So many Russian soldiers have surrendered or been killed. Ukrainian soldiers, meanwhile, paused long enough to thank Australia for the Australian-made Bushmaster vehicles that the Morrison government gave them.
The Bushmaster armored personnel carrier is used by the airborne forces of Ukraine to reach forward operating areas. We're grateful to the people and government of Australia for providing these to us. They were a great asset to us in liberating the areas around Kharkiv. Together, we're working towards a victory. Slava Ukraini! Героям слава!
This push by the Ukrainian army has so far recaptured at least 6,000 square kilometres now in the past week and a half, and still going. And on Russian state television, commentators for once stopped parroting Vladimir Putin's lines and are admitting that his war is a disaster.
Или кто-то всерьез верит, что 6 месяцев назад план был, чтобы сейчас мы там оставляли Бакалею, контрнаступление отражали, в Харьковской области не смогли взять Харьков.
Вот нам за последние несколько дней нанесли очень чувствительный психологический удар.
Joining me from Kiev, the Ukrainian capital, is Inna Sovsun, who's deputy head of the pro-European political party, Holos. Inna Sovsun, thank you so much indeed for your time again. This breakthrough, how has the news affected Ukrainians, affected their morale?
Sorry, as you can see me smiling, probably for the first time since we've been speaking with you. And that, I think, reflects the general mood over here. Everybody is extremely uplifted, everybody feeling that this is what is the right thing. This is what we have been waiting for, and we are very happy to actually see that happening. So, yeah, we do understand that there are many challenges ahead. We do understand that keeping the territory is even more difficult than, liberating it. We are also well, of course, terrified with what we are hearing from the people who have been living under occupation. And we have already got some evidence of people being tortured to death on the occupied territories. So that, of course, is depressing. But overall, I think that the trend is, of course, very positive, and we're trying to be cautiously optimistic.
Well, you're sounding and looking happier than I remember for the last couple of times I've spoken to you. What do you expect to happen next?
Well, of course, it's very difficult to predict, because you remember that for the whole summer, everybody were talking about the counteroffensive on the south, and it appears that has been a trick to make Russians actually move their troops to the south, so that we can actually take over the territory in Kharkiv region on the northeast of Ukraine. So it's very difficult to predict, and I think it's good, because when it's difficult to predict for us politicians, then it's also difficult for the Russian army to predict what is to happen. But definitely several things come to mind. One is in the territories that have been liberated, people need humanitarian aid, they need medicines, they need help, medical help, they need psychological help. We need to send teams of investigators to investigate the crimes that have been committed over there. But what is most important, we need to proceed with this counterattack. There seem to be more fightings in Donetsk region right now. We are waiting for specific news from there. We are waiting for the news from the south. So Ukrainian army is progressing, and in order to progress faster, we need more weapons from our Western allies. And we're grateful for the Bushmasters that Australia send us. Do send us more. You can see now that we're actually putting them to good use, and that we can actually win this war with the Ukrainian spirit and the weapons that you are supplying to us.
Inna Sovsun, I'll take up that request from you, and I'll talk to the Ukrainian ambassador here and see if we can mount a campaign for more. How do you think Vladimir Putin will respond? Because obviously his standing in Russia, with even people on state TV now criticising him. There was in fact also a petition signed by 19 members of local councils in St. Petersburg and Moscow attacking him. How do you think it's going to respond? Because this is very humiliating to him, and it threatens his standing in Russia. He's already fired some missiles at Ukrainian cities, just a random punishment. Already tried to knock out your electricity station, so you sit in blackouts. But what do you think he could possibly do? I mean, I have to ask, nuclear strike?
Well, indeed, the Russians do feel humiliated with this. I've been following the discussions on the Russian social media a little bit, as much as I can bear, truth be told. And they have all been saying what has happened. Putin is a great leader, so that must be the mistake on the side of the commanders on the field. We have to fire them, we have to kill them, and all of that. So they have gone really crazy about this Ukraine's counteroffensive, and then I was following the news of the Ukrainian strikes, the Russian strikes on the energy plants over here in Ukraine, which left several cities without electricity for a couple of hours, and Russians were feeling vigilant, and they were feeling that this is the right thing to do, and I think that is just despicable, truth be told, because the Russian army cannot fight against the Ukrainian army, so instead they decide to fight against the civilian population. And actually right now, as we speak, my native city of Kharkiv doesn't have electricity because they hit another lines over there in Kharkiv region. So I think that this is what will be happening. We are not seeing any signs of potential nuclear attack. That would have to go through so many chains of commands that I think that they are not functioning right now. So we just have to hope for the best and continue fighting.
Inna Sovsun, let me again wish you luck. Thank you so much indeed for your time. Appreciate it.